Here are some pretty interesting sources, just a few on Zipporah or Zifra, the wife of Moses and daughter of Jethro. She's the one who Jethro gives to Moses as a wife. Meantime, Moses, the son of Amram, was still confined in the prison house in those days in the house of Ruel, Ruel being either Jethro or his father, the Midianite, and his daughter, Zipporah, supplied Moses secretly with food day after day. And at the end of 10 years, which was the first year of the kingdom of the new Pharaoh, Zipporah said to Ruel, her father, "Behold, the Hebrew man who you have bound in the prison house is there for 10 years, and yet no man inquired or searched for him. And now, if it seems good in your eyes, let us send and see whether he's dead or alive." So he's been in this prison for 10 years, and according to Ruel, as far as he knows, no one's been feeding him. He's had no food or water for this whole time. And her father knew not that she had supported him. And her father said unto her, "Has ever such a thing come to pass that a man could stand to be for 10 years in prison without eating and live?" And Zipporah answered to her father, saying, "Verily, you have heard that the God of the Hebrews is great and fearful, and that he works wonders in their behalf at all times. It is he who has delivered Abraham from Ur-Kasdim, and Isaac from his father's sword, and Jacob from the angel of the Lord at the ford of Jabbok. And with this man also he has done many things, for he delivered him from the river of Egypt, and from the sword of Pharaoh, and from the sons of Cush. And in the same way he can save him from starvation and keep him alive." And the thing seemed good in the eyes of Ruel, and he did according to the words of his daughter. And he sent to the prison to see what had become of Moses. And he saw, and behold, the man was alive in the pit, standing upon his feet, engaged in singing praises and praying to the God of his fathers. So Jethro had no idea that his daughter was feeding him this whole time, so this must have seemed like a miracle to him. And Ruel commanded that Moses be brought forth from the pit, and they shaved him, and he changed his prison garments, and he ate bread. And afterwards he went into Ruel's garden, which was at the back of the house, and there he prayed unto the Lord his God, who had done with him such great wonders. And while he was praying, he looked before him, and beheld a rod of the sapphire tree, or saphir tree, which had been planted in the midst of the garden. So this is the famous rod or staff of Moses. And he approached the rod, and looking at it closer, he saw the name of the Lord, the God of hosts, engraved upon the rod in distinct characters, so in Hebrew writing. He read it, and put forth his hand, and he extracted it from the ground, wherein it was rooted, like a tree in the forest. And this is the rod with which all the wonders of our God had been performed from the day that he finished heaven and earth and all their hosts, the oceans and streams and all their fishes. And when God drove Adam from the Garden of Eden, Adam took this rod along with him, and he went to till the ground from where he was taken. And the rod was transmitted to Noah, and through him to Shem and his descendants. And then it came into the hands of Abraham, the Hebrew. And when Abraham gave all his property to Isaac, his son, he gave him this rod, this exact staff. And when Jacob fled to Padan Aram, he took that rod with him, and when he returned to his father, the rod was not forgotten. And when Jacob went down to Egypt, he gave the rod unto Joseph, saying, "I have given to thee a portion above your brethren, which I took out of the hands of the Amorite." For Jacob took it forcibly from Esau his brother. And after the death of Joseph, when the princes of Egypt came into his house, the rod fell into the hands of Ruel the Midianite. And when he left Egypt, he took it along and planted it into his garden. And whenever a man came to ask Zipporah for a wife, Ruel would tell him to extract the rod from the ground. for she would not be given for a wife to any man who could not pluck it out. And all the powerful men of the Canaanites, of whom Jethro is one, tried to pluck that stick, for they endeavored to get Zipporah his daughter, but they could not. Thus the rod remained in Reuel's garden until the man came who had the right to take it. And when Reuel, Jethro, saw the rod plucked by the hand of Moses, he was greatly astonished, and he gave his daughter Zipporah unto Moses for a wife. And just one more from Exodus. This is in regards to Exodus 4:24. But it was on the way in the place of lodging that the angel of the Lord met him and sought to kill him, being Moses, because Gershom his son had not been circumcised, inasmuch as Jethro his father-in-law had not permitted him to circumcise him. But Eleazar had been circumcised by agreement between the two of them. And Zipporah took a stone and circumcised the foreskin of Gershom her son, and brought the severed part to the feet of the angel, the destroyer, that being Hasatan, Satan. The husband sought to circumcise, but the father-in-law obstructed him. And now let this blood of the circumcision atone for my husband. And the destroying angel desisted from him, so that Zipporah gave thanks and said, "How lovely is the blood of the circumcision that has saved or delivered my husband from the angel of destruction." So you can see here, Zipporah saves Moses on multiple occasions.